Okay, let's talk about video streaming. Streaming video is a content sent in compressed form over the internet and displayed by the viewer in real time. With streaming videos or streaming media, a web user doesn't have to wait to download the file to play it. Instead, the media is sent in a continuous stream of data and is played as it arrives. The user needs a player, which is a special program that uncompresses and sends the video data to the display and audio data to the speakers. A player can either be an integral part of the web browser or downloaded from the software maker's website, like a third party software. Major streaming videos and streaming media technologies include Real System G2 from the Real Network, Microsoft Windows Media Technologies, and the VDO, like the letters. Microsoft's approach uses the standard MPEG compression algorithm for the video. The other approaches uses proprietary algorithms. The program that the compression and decompression is sometimes called the codec. Microsoft technology offers streaming audio at up to 96 kbps and the streaming video up to 8 mbps for the NetShow Theater server. However, for most web users, a streaming video will be limited to the data rate of the connection. For example, up to 128 kbps of ISDN connection. Microsoft streaming media files are in its advanced streaming format, which is ASF. Streaming video is usually sent from pre-recorded video files and can be distributed as part of a live broadcast feed. In a live broadcast, the video signal is converted into a compressed data signal and transmitted from a special web server that is able to do multicast, sending the same file to multiple users at the same time. Now let's talk about the history of media streaming, or video streaming if you may. In the early 1920s, George O. Squier was granted patents for the system for the transmission and distribution of signals over electrical lines, which was technical basis for the later became Muzak, a technology. It was known as Muzak, a technology streaming continuous music to commercial customers without the use of a radio. Attempts to display media on the computer date back to the earliest days of the computing in the mid-20th century. However, a little progress was made for several decades, primarily due to the high costs and limited capability of computer hardware. From the late 1980s to the 1990s, consumer-grade personal computers became powerful enough to display various media. Thank God we were born later on, right? Primary technical issues related to streaming were having enough CPU power and the bus bandwidth to support the required data rates, and creating low latency interrupt paths in operating system to prevent buffer underrun and thus enable skip-free streaming of the content. However, computer networks were still limited in the mid-1990s, and audio and video media were usually delivered over non-streaming channels, such as by downloading a digital file from a remote server and saving it to a local drive on the user's computer, or storing it in a digital file and playing it back from a CD-ROM.